I'm trying to fix my lighting, so hopefully I can look better while bringing you the news. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, January 16th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Big thing that happened this week is the Resident Evil showcase. It wasn't too big of a deal because it was just kind of like 12 minutes of them talking a little bit more about what kind of different play patterns you can expect while playing as Leon and Grace. You're kind of going to have two different games. They emphasize that like Grace is going to be more like a Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 7, where she's going to slowly, methodically trying to figure out what's going on and solve puzzles. And Leon's going to do Leon things by kicking zombies across the room. So those are the kind of two different play styles to expect. They also went a little bit too long on like brand collaborations, which I'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, this might be the last touch point before, a couple more. We'll probably have a couple more trailers before the game launches at the end of February. But this is kind of their last, I guess, hopefully one of their last big beats to kind of keep emphasizing the two different play styles we should expect in the game. And overall, I am still very excited for the game. I think it'll be an enjoyable kind of like two-person experience too, where like one of you plays as Leon and one of you plays as Grace. So I think that's definitely something that me and my wife can look forward to playing a game together. So yeah, I'm more excited. Like I said, it was a short one. It was only like 10 or 12 minutes. So I'll have a link down below for you to check that out yourself. But overall, just kind of showcasing the two different kind of play styles you can expect. Moving right along, Marathon. We haven't heard much from Bungie about their upcoming extraction shooter, but they talked a little bit about their free loadout, or what they're calling shells. I think it's more of a hero shooter where you kind of like pick a kit before going in. They call them shells. The Rook shell will be the kind of like free loadout, as us arc raiders will know it as. And yeah, they talked about what they're going to be emphasizing, and apparently Rook shell players will only be able to go in solo, so you can't do like a free loadout together with friends, which is an interesting choice. And you will arrive late to the match. So as a avid Arc Raiders fan who brings in a big expensive loadout and then gets put halfway through an already complete match, can be quite frustrating. So it seems like Marathon's trying to adjust that so that if you have your kit, I don't know that it guarantees that you will be if you'll be placed at the beginning of the match, but it sounds like if you are running a free kit, you're more likely to be placed at the middle of the map so that you don't, have the max access to all the loot that still might or might not be out there. So, pretty cool and interesting stuff. The whole shell system seems a little weird, and I'm curious how this kind of the hero shooter aspect of it enters play. But good that we're getting more information on Marathon, depending on how you feel about Bungie's upcoming extraction shooter. So, interesting stuff there. We got to see the hero trailer for Deadpool this week. He's coming to Marvel Rivals, and his gameplay looks a little unique, as you would expect for Deadpool. Deadpool apparently can open up a book and kind of select skills from a list and potentially change the way that Deadpool's played throughout the game, and you'll maybe get more. It looks like you unlock more as you go through the game. So Deadpool's got a very interesting play style where you could pick which skills you want to be using at any given time and kind of go through and check off which ones you want to use. So I assume that this will be min-maxed to all heck, and there will be like a one true way to play Deadpool. But for now, there's it seems like there's a lot of creative potential there to kind of have a character kind of leveling up throughout the play, throughout the match. So interesting stuff going on with Deadpool coming to Marvel Rivals. Pour one out, maybe even a moment of silence this week, as Anthem is officially dead. The servers went down on Monday, and you can no longer go in and play Anthem on its servers. So they've been talking about this one for a while, and now it is officially dead. So yeah, I think it was ultimately interesting and fun to fly around and be kind of Iron Manning your way through Anthem, but If I could say it's, give me a moment for its eulogy, I just do think that it was like just too little on like the emphasis on like playing together, and like the bosses weren't very varied, and the what you were doing moment to moment wasn't very interesting, other than it was fun to fly around and be Iron Man. But ultimately, I think there was just not enough of a game there to kind of keep me latched in and hooked on the game, much like everyone else, and that's unfortunate because the game is now officially dead. Moving on to games that haven't disappointed us yet. Actually, this one sounds like it's off to a great start. One of the biggest games coming out of the Game Awards was Total War Warhammer 40K. Creative Assembly had David Harbour on the stage, and he talked about how, we've already done 3 different Warhammer Fantasy versions, so let's go on and move on to a Grand Strategy 40K game, which would be fun and interesting. And this week they announced that it has hit 1 million wish lists on Steam, so it seems like that after just about a month, they're off to a great start there. So I, for one, that's probably one of my most anticipated games coming up, but I don't know that it's a this year thing, considering all we got was kind of David Harbour talking about it, and we didn't see any like in-game stuff or anything like that. So not hopeful that it's coming out this year. But excited that it's off to a good start, and I have to go wishlist it. I'm not even one of those million people who've wishlisted it so far. Moving right along, a study finds that a data based on 300 Australian college student finds that the students that play more than 10 hours a week, play 10 hours of video games a week, are more likely to be sleep deprived, have dietary issues, and weight gain. There are several ways that I could pick this apart. The fact that it is college students is probably a big major red flag. They're already sleep deprived as they're going from classes, so I wouldn't apply anything that I learned from 300 college students in a different country to my life. But the fact that it's they're trying to is what I'm talking about here. I'll have a link down below where you can go through the kind of the full study, but I just wanted to talk about this. I don't like when news tries to be like, hey, gamers are, there's something this way about gamers. This is how gamers are, especially when we're talking about like, if it's correlation, that means that they could also work in the reverse. Maybe people who are more sleep deprived, play games during that time, or people who, there's a little bit of something to be said about sitting in front of a computer playing a video game, and how that's not a very active thing, and all that kind of stuff. But it does work both directions when we're talking about correlations, and also the fact that we are talking about college students. They're already eating junk food and not sleeping. So the idea that this is somehow related to their gaming habits, I don't know that there's much there. But found it this week, and as someone who studied surveys and making psychological observations, I do think that this one is a little bunk, but I'll have a link down below. You can check out the whole article and see if you agree with me or with their findings. An awesome new Lego Zelda set is coming down the pipe. You can pre-order it now. It is Link and Zelda from the Ocarina of Time taking on Ganon, kind of like the last boss fight in Ocarina of Time gets portrayed in with this kit, which is awesome. Good seeing Link and Zelda in the classic green, which I'm very excited for. And it also has a Ganondorf, which everyone loves, that green man with flaming red hair. So I'm excited for this Lego kit. It's only like $130. You can kind of build the scene, with Link and Zelda taking on Ganon, but Ganondorf's there. So excited for this kit, and looking forward to potentially pre-ordering it soon. Going back to the weird Resident Evil collabs, I just wanted to talk about how they had a whole like 1 minute where they talked about Leon driving a Porsche, which like felt weird, and like I don't understand why. I never understand like brand collaborations like this that just like don't make sense, especially with like gaming brands. They have like a huge fandom, and then like you pair it up with some luxury brand that like doesn't make sense at all. which is most of them, because I think gamers spend their money on games or things that make their game playing experience better. I can imagine someone spending $1,500 on a like brand new gaming PC. I could not imagine a gamer spending $1,500 on a Hamilton wristwatch, which is one of the collabs that Resident Evil had. Was like Leon, the Leon edition, and there's like a, if you're real spicy, you can spend like $2,200 on a wristwatch, which I don't even own a wristwatch. So like the fact that people out there might be more inclined to buy a $2,000 one because it has Leon on it, or something Resident Evil-y on it, just seems kind of out there for me. So like anytime I see Crystal Pokemon, or that one actually I think has more sales potential than these really expensive wristwatches. And like there was a pretty gross like marketing tagline of like, time is the second most important character in our upcoming video game, and it's like, okay, come off of it. Anyway, yeah, if you've got $2,300 lying around in your couch cushions and want to spend it on a wristwatch that says Resident Evil words on it, you can. I'll have a link down below for you to check it out. We got a lot of updates on some of the live action video game adaptation Amazon shows that are coming down the pipe. We get to see Sophie Turner as Lara Croft this week. She's all kitted out in the traditional turquoise tank top, and I think she looks great for the role. I'm excited for the live action Lara Croft show. We also know who our Kratos is going to be, and fans of God of War will recognize him as Ryan Hurst. Was the voice actor for Thor in God of War Ragnarok. He's also from The Walking Dead and Sons of Anarchy. I don't even recognize him from The Walking Dead because his Walking Dead character wore a walker skin the entire time, so I don't even know what the guy looks like. But yeah, he's a big guy with a big beard. I think they kind of nailed it on the casting there. So excited to see and hear him sounding like Kratos in the God of War live action show that is coming as well. Also, somewhat related in the Amazon show world, and Fallout related, which got my ears to perk up. Amazon's taking a page out of Netflix's book by taking their hit series and then turning it into a reality competition show. Speaking of Fallout, they're making a Fallout Shelter reality competition TV show, and they're taking applicants, and I have been wrestling with my application for over a day now. But yeah, that you can apply. They've got you gotta put a picture and a 1-minute video into this long application. They actually have you fill out kind of like your stats. They ask you what your intelligence score is from 1 to 10. They do it with like perception and agility, so they're really like getting into the stats. And I assume I can already see the future where, you know, the contestants come in and they have their stat scores all laid out, like what their special score is. So it should be fun and interesting. I'm crossing my fingers that when I eventually submit my application, I get selected, but I don't have my hopes set too high on that one. But I would be honored if I could be on the Fallout reality TV show. But you can submit your application too. I'll have a link down below for you to check that out. That's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.